I think it's one of those skills that like can make your life a lot easier when you learn to cook. I know for me, I learned as a mother, like more in depth, more intensely, because I just kind of had to, right? I have to feed my family.
Yeah.
And I found that to be really hard to learn to cook while I'm learning how to do all these other things as a mother. So it was, I would like when I look back on that time, it was really hard for all those reasons. Like when you were asking what was so hard about motherhood, is just learning these little things as you go along and not because like it's just because you have to, like you're just put in a position where you have to learn and you have to build all these skills seemingly all at once, and it can just feel so overwhelming.
Yeah, especially if if a lot of it is new for you. See, like for me, I was a nanny for almost 15 years before I became a parent.
Hmm.
So I had, I guess you can say, the experience of working with children, and especially a lot of my clients were anywhere between the ages of like newborn and 5. So I
Hmm.
had a lot of experience with younger children.
Yeah.
So like changing diapers and all that, like that came very easy to me. And I was able to do it considerably quickly too, where some people who maybe have never been around that before may have a really hard time with that. And it's
Hmm.
like just those little things. It seems small, but to people who've never done it before, learning how to do all that and getting it done in a timely manner. And oh my God, the amount of times that my son's kicked crap on me, literally, quite literally kicked shit on me because I wasn't fast enough with the diaper,
For
you
sure.
know?
I love that you said timely manner because, like, when you become a mother, there's like, what is time? Time doesn't exist. Like,
No.
you're on your kids' time. They make up the time. Like, they make up. You have an idea when you want to leave the house? No, no, you're on
Yeah.
that kids' time. So I think that that's hard too, especially if you're used to um, building a life where you kind of you have like your routine, you have your day, you have your the way you like to do things and you have time for that. And then all of a sudden you have a kid and that kind of all goes out the window because there's no control over that. There's no control over timing. And I mean, we can try, but it almost, it feels, it feels like you're pushing a huge boulder up a hill.
And like to me, to like somebody like me who has like say OCD,
Mm,
right? Letting go of chaos was probably one of the hardest things for me.
mm-hmm.
Like letting my son make a mess because that's what
Yeah.
toddlers do.
Yeah.
And also like breaking the cycle too of like yelling at your kid or getting upset when something like that happens. Because let's face
Mm-hmm.
it, that's probably what a lot of us went through as a kid. We
Mm-hmm.
spill something, we get told, "What are you doing?" Like,
Mm-hmm.
so letting a lot of that go has been hard for me too.
Yeah.
There's been times when he like just, so like yesterday, he knocked over all the goldfish right into a clean hamper of laundry that I had just washed.
I imagine you're talking about the snacks. Like we're not talking real goldfish here, right?
And I'm like, okay, of course.
Okay.
But then I'm like, what did you do? I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I'm just gonna pick it all up and shake out the clothes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, after it was just, and the thing is, we don't have a dryer, so all of our clothes are hang dried. So it
Okay.
takes like a day or two for some of the clothes to dry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like we just finished going through the whole process, and I want to say a good 2 handfuls of goldfish probably spilled all over the top of the hamper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
That's not
it
exactly
takes
how you
everything
expected that
in
to go.
you to like not. What are you doing? Oh my god! Like, and breaking that cycle is really really hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it can feel like you have in your own mind of how that should go. Like
Yeah,
wash laundry, hang it up, it dries, it's clean, we get to use it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and thankfully they were his clothes, not mine. So I was able to like a lot smaller, able to
Mhm.
shake it off and like even take a wipe and just kind of like get off any of the dust, right? And it's still
Yeah.
clean. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna freaking wash a whole load of laundry again just because some Cheetos or a
Yeah.
goldfish dust got on the clothes. Nope, shake
Yeah.
it off. Freaking take a wipe and get rid of it because it's still
Yeah.
clean. I'm not going through it all again.
The thing about this though, okay, so you just described one moment in your day, right?
Yeah.
So times that, okay, you get that cleaned up, and then the next thing
Something else
will
happens.
happen like 10 minutes later, and that takes up a bunch of time. I remember when my kids were little and I was like, it was really important to me that they had playtime.
Yes.
And then one time I let them, all three of them, go in the backyard to play. I think it had just rained or it was still raining. Um, and I decided to let them go outside and play in the mud. And they were over the moon. Like they were so happy. One even got her boot stuck in the mud, and then so the boot was stuck in the mud. She took her foot was out. She was walking around in the mud, but they were so happy. But that like maybe 10 minutes of play took about 2 hours to then clean up because the three of them coming in, mud all over the walls, all
Oh
the
my
floor,
god.
like everywhere. And then of course I have to make dinner. So it's just like it's so worth it, of course. Like I would do it again and again.
See, my
For sure.
OCD, my OCD, truthfully, I should be okay with him playing in the mud and stuff like that. That's one thing that I haven't had, that I haven't been able to let myself do is, okay, go ahead, play in the mud with your clothes.
Mhm.
I haven't been able to do that yet. I
No, I
should.
totally get that. I
I
totally get
sh-
that. That was not a regular occurrence.
I
Okay.
should though. Kids are kids. Like we really like we were allowed to do that. We weren't told to like wash our clothes, like unless they
Mhm.
were dressy clothes. That's
Yeah.
different. But like
Yeah.
going outside and getting dirty and playing was a part of childhood for us.
Yeah.
So people who have OCD who have a hard time letting go of that chaos,
Yeah.
that can be a huge weight too because you feel like maybe I'm not doing enough as a parent.
Totally.
I'm not like I'm holding them back from having fun.
Mm. Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And you don't want
Yeah.
to feel that guilt either, but it's hard when you're fighting with that part of yourself.
My gosh, mom guilt is so real, right? Like it's, am I doing enough?
Yeah.
How do I do this better? Oh, this person's doing it like that. Should I be doing it like that? I'm not doing it like that. Oh, they need to be getting this because research says this. Like it's even as I talk about it now, I'm like, oh, like I
It's
feel,
exhausting.
yeah, it's so exhausting.
And
And
Xavier is he's never gonna have siblings. He's gonna be an only child. So that's another thing too. Like
mhm,
the guilt of like watching my friends' kids have siblings and like he's never going to get to experience that.
mhm,
And it's just because it's not in the cards for us, and that's
mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
But we have to put a lot more work into making sure he's happy
Mhm,
because he doesn't have a sibling.
mhm.
But
Yes.
let's face it, siblings aren't always what they're cracked up to be.
It's true. I laugh because I'm like thinking of how many times a day my children fight. But yeah, I think you pointed out something that's really important is just like you become the playmate for your child.
Yeah,
And especially when you want to be a really engaged parent, then that falls on you and that can be um like
overwhelming in
another,
itself.
yeah, it can be another thing. Not that it's bad, like it's um but it's just another thing that you have to manage throughout your day.
Yeah. And, like managing play dates and stuff. Like, I know that we've talked about this before where, it's really hard to make friends as a mom and have play dates and have those play dates actually come through without falling through. Because let's face it, play
Mhm,
dates, as quickly as they're scheduled, usually are quickly to get canceled, you know?
mhm, mhm.
And, but then you have sports, which help because you can meet other moms at sports too, like other sport moms.
Yes, I found that that's actually been really helpful, but that doesn't, I feel, come till later because when your kids are small, there isn't too much. Um, but maybe taking them to, like, if you're in Ontario, take them to the early on centers and things like that where
Yeah.
other people are in the same life phase because they have like um certain like 0 to 1 or something, or like they have specific age
Age
ranges.
groups. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can meet other similar stage moms.
Well,
I
now
think that's really important.
you can enter your kids now into like gymnastics and soccer and stuff now at like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But like Xavier's not really gonna comprehend what the hell to do at that age, in my opinion. But like we're aiming to do more swimming lessons because we just haven't been able to afford to do them, eh? Like they're
Yeah.
just not cheap.
Yeah.
But this year, summertime, swimming lessons. And then hoping that like maybe we can put him into like soccer next year,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because thankfully like preschool, it's 9 to 11:30, but I don't know what they do there with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how he enjoys it there. Hopefully he does. And then maybe I can meet maybe other preschool moms. You never know.
Yeah, but it's definitely tough. Everybody has like different parenting styles.
Oh God, yeah.
The mom guilt can be really real, or embarrassment if
The
your kid
judgment,
is
yeah.
doing something. And, I went to one mom's place when my kids were younger, and she had this rule like, oh, no toys. I think there were like two at the time. No toys goes out of this room. Of course, my daughter doesn't really understand that boundary,
Yeah.
so would continually take it out. And that, I found that really stressful. Like, looking back on it now, like, I'd probably be a little bit less stressed. But yeah, as a new mom trying to make connections, I was very stressed that she wasn't following this mom's rules. So it can be just like a stressful experience, getting to make new connections, getting to know people. And
Yeah, and it's like the judgment too that can come from moms sometimes when it comes to parenting or
yeah.
example like running through Toys R Us with my kid because my kid decided that I'm done with the play place, so I'm gonna try and make it a run for the exit.
Hmm. Hmm.
And all of a sudden you become that parent.
Hmm.
Where it's like, oh my God, her kid is doing this. He's acting out.
Yeah.
It's like if only you knew this is the first time my child has ever done this.
Hmm.
Like probably the first and only time he's actually taken off in a store like that where I was terrified for my life
Mhm,
with
mhm.
him,
Yeah.
you know? But people look at you like their kid could never do that. It's like, okay, let's see.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing, is it's hard managing maybe other people's expectations, or,
Mm.
your own of yourself. Like me, I felt like, well, I wanted to be respectful. I wanted to follow that person's rules, of course. But I also didn't, like, I felt some judgment. It's almost like, why does your child not listen? Why doesn't she not listen to you? But she's 2, she has kind of her own. So it's like, it's hard. And sometimes trying to make these things can be more stressful than just staying at home. And so that's when people can choose more to be on their own and do that. But I think it's important that we take some social risks to make these connections, because they're so important, right?
Of
When we make,
course, yeah.
in this kind of modern day, when a lot of us are doing things on our own, we really need each other, and that support in that modern day village that
Well,
is so
well,
important.
then you have like our parents, the boomer generation that feels that their advice, that their parenting is top tier.
Mm, mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of shit that you guys suggest that isn't even looked at, that isn't even okay anymore.
Hmm.
Like my mother-in-law one time told me to put rum on my son's gums. I'm like, Sonia, you can't do that anymore.
Hmm.
I'm like, you shouldn't have. Technically, we shouldn't have done that in the first place.
Hmm.
But like, you can't do that anymore, man. Like that,
Hmm.
that's looked down upon. You can't do that.
Hmm.
Like,
Yep.
oh, he would go to sleep. I said, yeah, because he's drunk. That's why he would go to sleep because they're drunk.
Yeah.
You just shove rum all up in their mouth. Like, of course they're gonna go to sleep.
Yep.
Like,
Times have changed, and they've like really evolved. So,
yeah.
like, I guess we have to move with it as well. We have to move with it, and it's hard to get our parents on board with that sometimes, and that can cause a lot of like conflict in your
Oh God,
relationships.
yeah.
But you can fight, you can end up, like, things can get really tense when it comes to that. So that is a whole other thing that we have to manage as moms, like relationships, like family.
Boomer generations in general, a lot of them, the word autism is so terrifying to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even necessarily with my parents, but it's with most people from that generation. I'm noticing, or even my uncle, for example. My uncle is like at the top of the boomer generation, okay? Like he was probably one of the first from that generation,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm telling him all about Xavier, you know, he's like, but all kids act like that. I said, no, Uncle Dave, all kids do not behave this way. I said, but it's fine. We don't have a problem with it. We
Mm-hmm.
just need to get the diagnosis to know what kind of support he would need. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We have no problems with it. We just need
Mm-hmm.
to know.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, you guys, what did he say? He's like, you guys are, you know, always need an answer for something. I'm like, well, yeah, we need answers for behavior. It helps us give our child the support that they need.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue with your generation. Your generation is too scared to ask questions. Your generation is too scared to find out, okay, so there is something going on here.
Yeah.
My mom actually took me to get tested. I
Mm-hmm.
remember I was like 8 years old. She took me, and I don't think they're around anymore. George Hall, I think it was.
Okay.
And I remember going through the tests, and then I got diagnosed with ADD. But my mom's looking back now, and she's like, I think you could be right. I think you might have ADHD. I said, yeah, like the way my brain functions more like somebody who has ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And at the time, ADHD wasn't as big of a diagnosis as it was a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
ADHD started to come in a little bit later.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now everything
So
is kind of put under that umbrella of ADHD.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then there's, medications that come along with, diagnoses. Like, do we medicate? Do we not medicate? Can we try behavioral techniques and management first before we medicate? And some doctors just push for the medication. And that's another load that we have to think about. Like, am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing not medicating? Am I doing the right thing medicating? Like,
Yeah.
all of this is just so overwhelming.
Yeah, I think what also makes it hard is because there's no like exact manual that says, okay, that tells you what to do. Nothing does,
Yeah.
right? But it's like you have to figure that out. All those questions that you just said, you have to actually figure that out. And you don't know what feels quote unquote right or wrong, what will be more helpful until you sometimes trudge along and go through it and kind of experiment. And that can take some time. It can take a
Yeah.
lot of resources emotionally, financially, time-wise, like it can be a lot.
It's your thing. Do what you wanna do.